Welcome to the Rewards Master. Today I'm going to give what I think is the top 10 list of the best credit cards for everyday spending. Now, this list is not about what cards are going to give the best sign-up bonuses. That may be totally different cards altogether. And it's not about what cards give the most benefits as far as credits or lounge access or any of those kind of extras that are often offered, especially with higher tier cards. This list is all about if there was no such thing as sign-up bonuses and all we got was our spending that we had on a day-by-day basis, what are the 10 best cards, in my opinion, that a person could have in their wallet as you're trying to maximize those multipliers. So if you would, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and we'll dive right into it. So in making this list, what I really wanted to focus on was what cards have a lot of utility on a day-to-day basis. And like I said before, if we didn't have the sign-up bonuses, if we weren't getting status with hotels or free night certificates or any of that kind of thing, what cards are just great to use day by day in different categories? And if I had to choose one or the other, how would I rank them? So I have most of the cards on this list, or have had them. There are a few that I don't, but in my research, I think they're absolutely outstanding cards for everyday spending. So and when I say everyday spending, let me be clear, I'm not meaning just the non-category spend. I mean cards to carry in your wallet because they're going to be useful in your life. So let's look at the list. First of all, at the number 10 spot, I have the Discover It card. Now I have this card, I won't say that it gets a lot of use in my wallet, but right now it's actually being used this quarter because it has rotating categories, 5% back rotating categories. And if those rotating categories, and there'll be another rotating category card on this list, but if those rotating categories are used and kept up with, they can be outstanding because 5% back or 5 points back per dollar is like the gold standard in this. That's what you really want to shoot for. We'd all would love to get 5% back or 5 points back on every single thing that we spend. And this card does provide that. Although the downside, and the reason why it's so much lower on the list and not higher or in the middle or in the top 2 or 3, is because it's just a cashback card. So that 5% is going to be limited to a true 5%. You can't use it to transfer through portals to partners and get outsized value. So that's why I place at the number 10 spot the no annual fee Discover It card. It's a good card, and especially if you use up those categories, it's a great card. In the 9th spot, I have the American Express Blue Cash Preferred card. Now, I don't have this card because I don't do a lot of cashback cards, but again, this one would be higher on the list if you could get American Express membership reward points with the card, but you can't. It's a cashback card. It's $95 a year, but it has 2 outstanding categories. 6% back at grocery stores. I think that's up to, and this limits the card as well, or it'd be higher on the list. But I think $6,000, something like that. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, in spend per year at grocery stores. And also 6% back on select streaming services. So I just couldn't in good conscience leave off a card when we're talking about cards that are powerful multipliers in your wallet for different spending in your life without including a card that gives 6% at grocery stores and 6% on streaming, because everybody today seems to have streaming accounts. So it is $95 a year. The card is not going to give you any transferable points. So it makes it into the 9th spot of the 10 best cards for day-to-day spend. Now, this 8th one is kind of interesting because I don't love this card, but I have this card. And I think a lot of people in the Points and Miles community don't love this card, but they all have this card. And that's because we're talking about the number 8 spot, the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now, you could replace this with the Reserve, and the Reserve may even be a little better, but it has a really big annual fee. But really, the reason that you want this card in your wallet, at least for me, is not because it gets a lot of spend. In fact, I use this card a couple, 3 times a year when I travel overseas. I have found it to be the easiest, the least problematic, the card that doesn't make me, deal with a bunch of fraud alerts and stuff like that when I'm traveling in Europe or outside the country. So I use it as my card when I'm traveling, but really the reason that it's in my wallet is because it makes some of the other Chase cards that much more powerful, because it is kind of the anchor card in the Chase system, it or the reserve card, to be able to transfer out to partners. So in order to put another Chase card on this list, I kind of had to have this one on the list. So it's a decent card. It's certainly not, like some people would say, the best beginner travel card. I don't believe that at all. But I do think if you're going to have Chase as a viable ecosystem in your setup, then you have to have this one, or you have to have the reserve or the one ink card that allows you to transfer to partners. So because of that, this card, and it is, they have good protections. This card has primary rental car coverage, stuff like that. So I thought, it's not cash back. It does give you transferable points, and Chase points are very valuable. So I put the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserve, take your pick, in the 8th spot on the list. Which brings us to the number 7 spot, which is its little brother, but really more powerful in my mind, and that is the Chase Freedom Flex. Now, the Freedom Flex, like the Discover It card, is another card that has these rotating categories. You get 5 points, it's percent back, but because I have the Sapphire card, it ends up being Chase points in rotating categories. Sometimes it's gas, sometimes it's groceries, sometimes it's all movie theaters. I mean, who knows what it is. But Chase points are so valuable. That's why this is way higher on the list than the Discover card, even though they kind of serve the same purpose. It's a no annual fee card paired with the Sapphire. You can just join the points together and transfer them out to partners and all the rest. So you have to go in and activate, just like you do with the Discover It card. You have to go in and activate every quarter this benefit, but then as long as you know where to shop with it, you're going to get 5x on everything you spend up to a certain cap. I think it's $1,500 per quarter. And so this card, it's really a powerful card. During the quarters that I'm using it a lot, it's racking up lots and lots of Chase Ultimate Reward points. So that's why I put it as number 7, the Chase Freedom Flex card on the list. Now, the number 6 choice for me is kind of, I guess, I surprised even me when I thought about it, but it's the Bilt Rewards MasterCard. Now, I have this card and I'm a homeowner, so it's not because of rent, but how could you, if you're talking about everyday spend, the biggest item that people have in their life, in their spend month to month, is they have their rent. So this is the only card, if you don't own a home, then rent is going to be your largest purchase or your largest spend category every month. And this is the only card that gives you points without a fee. So it had to be on the list in my mind. But the other thing, I use this card really just on the first day of the month. That's it. And I go around and I buy gift cards of places we like to eat, because on rent day, they give double points. And there it is. Its multipliers aren't anything impressive. It's kind of a clone of the Chase Sapphire Preferred. But on the first day of the month, they double those points. So if you buy gift cards for restaurants, that takes that 3% on the first day of the month to 6 points. And Bilt points are pretty valuable. They transfer to Hyatt just like the Chase Ultimate Reward points. So that's why this card, in my mind, makes it to the number 6 spot on our list, the Bilt Rewards MasterCard. Number 5 is kind of similar to the Chase Sapphire Preferred in that it's also one of those cards that is here because it has a little brother card that's really good, but it's an anchor card that you have to unlock the points with the other card. And that is the City Strata Premier card. Now this card it used to just be the City Premier card. Now it's the Strata Premier. It's $95 a year. You can get a credit back of $100 if you spend over $500 for a hotel in the portal. I've done that. It's pretty easy to do. But the reason it's kind of higher on this list is because it's got much better multipliers than than the Chase card does because it has 3 points per dollar on gas, 3 points per dollar on dining, 3 points per dollar on groceries. So hopefully, if you were using all 10 of these cards on this list, you'd have those categories covered with even more rewards. But it is even though it's an anchor card that's really here in order to give power to its younger brother, it's just, in my mind, it's better. The combination of it and its younger brother, which we'll get to next, is just better than the Chase combination. So that's why our number 5 spot goes to the Citi Strata Premier card. Which brings us to number 4, one of my favorite cards. And I have one, my player 2 has one, and we try to maximize this every month. But it is the Citi Custom Cash card. Now, the Citi Custom Cash card, it's a no annual fee card, and it gives up to $500 a month of spend, 5 points per dollar. Now, it's cash back, but if you have the Strata, then it becomes Citi points that can be transferred out to partners. 5 points per dollar on your largest spend category, and it's a big list of things. And so we will either do it for groceries or for gas or for dining out sometimes, although I have a better card for that. And then sometimes we'll use it at home improvement stores if we're buying a lot at Lowe's or Home Depot. So this card is very powerful. I would have many of them if there weren't limitations on how many you could have, because I get to choose. It's not a rotating category where you have to look, well, what are they offering me this month? No, every single month I get to choose where I'm getting that 5x per dollar spent, which to me is way better and way more powerful. So the number 4 spot, one of my favorite cards, is the Citi Custom Cash card. Now the number 3 spot is a card I don't have, a card I would love to have, but I don't think I'll probably ever have because they're really hard to get approved for, especially if you're late in the game, you have a lot of applications, stuff like that. And that is the US Bank Altitude Reserve card. Now it's kind of an upper level travel card, $400 a year, gives you a $325 travel credit back. But the reason this one's on the list, and it is pretty good, they don't have transfer partners, but I think they give a boost, maybe 1.5 in the portal if you're redeeming for travel. But this card is on the list because of one thing. It has 3 points per dollar on mobile wallet payments. So if you use your Google Pay or your Apple Pay and you use your phone, which more and more all the time, you can do that almost everywhere. And that means this becomes almost a 3x everywhere card if you're using your mobile wallet. And that is just, any card that gives a lot of points everywhere is just a fantastic card. So the US Bank Altitude Reserve card, even though I don't have it, probably can't get it. I would if I could, because this is a powerful card if you use your mobile wallet. Number 2 on the list is probably going to be no surprise to anybody, but it's the American Express Gold card. Now, it's gotten a lot of press lately because they revamped it, they added some more credits, they raised the annual fee, and it's a high annual fee, and you got to go through some hoops to get the credits to make up for the fee. All of that is totally a separate conversation. When it comes to spending, this card is really powerful because it gives membership rewards points, American Express ecosystem. They're very valuable for transferring out to partners. And it gives 2 categories that just blow away most of the competition. And that is 4x back on dining, up to $50,000 a year. Who spends that on dining? So 4x back on dining, 4x back on grocery stores, up to $25,000 a year. So this is the food card, and it is powerful because if you eat whether it's eating out or eating at home, you're going to get 4x back on all that food. And that is usually one of, besides rent or maybe car payments or some of those kind of things, this is just people's largest spending categories, and it gets 4x, and it's American Express card in their ecosystem. So to me, just the number 2 spot goes without question to the American Express Gold card. And that leads us to our final spot, the number 1, the best of the best. And I really wrestled with this because I thought maybe the gold card would be the best one. And that Altitude Reserve, that 3 points on mobile wallet, that is good. And then I love the custom cash. Getting to choose my 5% category. But I got to give it to the Capital One Venture X card. I mean, this is a card. When I did kind of an analysis and thought about my cards in the past, and I was trying to rank them on which one would I get rid of last if I had to, get rid of some of my cards. The one that I would keep forever was the Venture X card. Now, there's a lot of other reasons for that because, it's really hard to get at this point in the game. So I don't know if I could get one again. So that plays into it. But the biggest reason is just simplicity and value. I mean, 2X Capital One miles, which are good points with a good ecosystem. 2X on everything across the board. Now you say, yeah, but there's a lot of 2X cards. There's the Citi Double Cash, and there's the American Express Blue Business Plus, and yeah, those are good cards. But this card is a powerful card that does that. A powerful card that if you use the credits right, it pays you to keep it, that $300 travel credit and that 10,000 points a year. And it gives you priority pass, and it gives you good travel protections. And I mean, it is an outstanding card. And just to have as a base for everything else in the wallet, I think the Capital One Venture X takes the cake as the number one card. Now, I'm curious, do you think that I ranked these correctly? If you don't, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Reorder them, rank them the way that you think they should be, or add some other cards if you think they're better, because certainly there could be some that I've missed. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's a blessing to you, and I hope you have a great day. We'll see you here next time.